Hello, my name is Olivares, and together with my partner Fabiola Piñero, we are going to present to you our lesson plan in class management project. So, first, we are going to talk about the learning context, then about the plan activities, and finally, about the evaluating procedures. So, first, regarding the learning context, we have to take into consideration that the approach that we chose for this class was the where to. First, the flipped classroom approach, because we think that this is one of the best ways in order to make students really learn about the topic and be able to improve their speaking skills. And then we are going to use the cooperative language learning method. Regarding the skills, the ones that we want to strengthen in students are the speaking and listening skills. And the language competence level for this class is B2, and we chose this level because we think that students have they have skills in English to improve, but they still have enough mastery in order to have a good performance during the class. The modality is online because of the COVID-19 situation and the context that in the pandemic that we are living. And the teaching learning context is context. Therefore, the student characteristics are students that are 18 years or more, and they belong to any gender. Next, we're going to talk about the content, and what we want is for students to develop their speaking and language skills primarily. How are we going to achieve this? Through panels where the students in group will prepare content to expose and debate with the class. So basically what we want with the flipped classroom is that the students prepare presentations, panels, and debates in order to bring to the classroom, and that way have a discussions with their classmates. And we believe that this is going to really enhance those speaking and listening skills. Our goal as teachers is promoting excellent speaking and listening skills in students in order for them to perform and develop successfully in oral presentations, conference, debates, panels, negotiations, and others. We know that both in the academic and professional life, being able to express yourself in a clear manner is very important. So that is what we want to achieve with this class. Now, regarding the learning objectives and competencies, first we want to giving a list of topics regarding the era of social media, which is the main theme in this class. Students will research about a topic of their preference. And then the second learning objective is that upon request, the students in groups will perform a panel of at least 15 to 20 minutes of about that topic that they chose.
Thank you, Genesis. Now I will explain the planned activities. So according to Washington State University in 2019, pre-class activities are an excellent way to get students to engage with content before they engage with it in class. These activities may include readings, videos, or check for understanding assessments. From this definition, we will develop the pre-teaching activity of our lesson. So we have the warm-up. First, the teacher will introduce the lesson by giving a presentation of the content. The students will receive a little introduction of the topic regarding the panel theme and a presentation of the panelists. And as the teacher introduces the lesson, questions will be asked to students in order to level their knowledge about the topic. For example, how social media has affected your life during the pandemic, and does social media have a negative or positive effect in your life? Then to focus the students' attention and motivation, the teacher will encourage the students by giving interesting and updated facts about the topic. For example, Most social media platforms have reported an accelerated growth in 2020. For example, TikTok saw a sharp growth, the site amassed global footprint, and that nearly tripled its size since 2018. And asking them, the students, their opinion and comments about said quote. Later, to tie the lessons, objectives, and competence, the teacher will give a brief reminder about how the students' panel will develop. The students will present their panel, and then the class is open to questions and discussion about the topic. The panel will develop as follows. First, the teacher presents the topic and the name of the students that are going to expose. Then at the end of the panel, if necessary, the teacher will add information that has been omitted by the panelists or correct the accuracy of the content. This is just in case of a mistake from the panelists. And last, to activate a student's prior knowledge, the teacher at the end of the panel, when all the panelists are done and all the doubts have been resolved, will make questions such as how social media has affected our life until now and how has society adapted to it. So then we'll move on with the mastery activity. And first we have that to meet stated objectives and competence, we need to take into consideration that a flipped lesson inverts the traditional classroom by delivering instructions online outside of class and moving homework and application activities into the classroom, as stated by Harrington 2013. Then, for the flipped classroom activity, students will be the ones in charge of preparing a presentation about class-related topics in order for them to improve their English speaking and listening skills. Then the instructions will be given. Students will research about the topic at home. Then in groups, they will present to the whole class about the topic chosen. So first, students will form groups of 4 members. Second, after the groups have been formed, students will select a topic related to social media from a list of options provided by the teacher. There, in their respective groups, students will conduct collaborative research about the topic selected. Each student must have a well-planned participation. Fourth, after research is done, the students will prepare a presentation of between 15 and 20 minutes. Each member of the group must participate and the time must be proportional between each. Fifth, for the presentation, students must have audiovisual material. They can use the platform of their preference, just like Canva, Google Slides, PowerPoint, Fountain, and more. And sixth, after the presentation, experts are allowed to ask questions, and the students will have a maximum of 5 minutes to conduct a question and answer. And this is the 6 steps to follow. And finally, we have the approach that the approach to use will be flipped classroom. So, and last but not least, the wrap-up activity will develop as follows. First, we have the summary of the lesson. At the end of the class, a concise and brief summary of the topic will be given by the teacher, answering the doubts of the students that could not be resolved by the panelists and presenting a little conclusion of the topic. Second, we have the teacher will review a student's performance. The students will give feedback to themselves, note opportunities for improvement and aspects they need to work on. They will also receive feedback from their fellow classmates, making the discussion much more enriched. The instructions for the review part will be, the teacher will directly ask the group which aspect they think could be improved. Each student will give a short time to answer and participate. Afterwards, the teacher will ask if anyone in the room has feedback for the group. If so, any classmate who wants to provide feedback will have a brief opportunity to participate. The students will be encouraged to apply the feedback for future presentations in order for them to become better as the course advances. Then, the teacher will sum up in order for the students to be clear and with no doubts. One must review the main points, emphasize the importance of their oral and comprehension abilities, motivate them to continue thinking about the topic, and invite to take a next action through suggestions. Make the students reflect about the topic, asking their opinion. So next activities. Finally, the teacher will provide the next activity, which consists that all the students must present for the next class a 2-minute oral summary of the topic just viewed. And the teacher resources will be Zoom, presentations created by the panelists, and WhatsApp.
Lastly, we have the evaluation procedure, which is going to be divided in two parts. First, we have the professional evaluation, which is going to be conducted by the teacher, who will design an evaluation rubric and fill it for each student based on the performance. So basically, this rubric that the teacher is going to design is going to have a series of criteria that they are going to assign points based on how they think the students and the group perform in the presentation. And then we have the peer evaluation, which consists of the teacher is going to provide that same rubric to each student in the class who is observing the presentation, meaning other classmates are going to have a sort of saying in how the group perform and what they think the grading should be, because that way we believe that the evaluation is going to be a little bit more objective, since it's not only the teacher's criteria, but the people that are listening to the presentation too. And something that we thought is that the evaluation should be in groups, because that means that each member is going to have the same responsibility about how that presentation comes out. And we think that this is going to really encourage students to work together and to be as cooperative as possible. So thank you. Do you have any question?